stuff. Damn it, I was hoping it was gonna be in English. I'm gonna go ahead and go on mute to watch. No, now I can watch this video, I guess. I was gonna watch the first episode of an anime, but I really don't want to read subtitles.
A disgusting, ugly orphan boy who loved reading stories. One day, he came across a tale about a powerful magician facing off against a demon lord. The demon lord asked the magician why he fought so hard and strongly against him. The magician said he was fighting to protect something important to him.
I want you to listen to this for the anime, it's not any of this.
A city in the Ozano Empire. There's this girl named Ruby who goes to that magical school. One day, she sees an old man on the street with her dismay. He's a nice girl, so she goes over to him. Using her healing magic, she fixes up the man's finger. He's so impressed, he thanks her, saying how awesome she is. But here's the thing, using magic outside the school is a no-no. So she kind of playfully tells the man, hey, you gotta keep this a secret. The man, with a playful wink, promises to do just that. One day, Ruby was walking to school and her friend Sistine from the same academy joined her. They chatted about a professor who quit, and they were kind of worried about who their new teacher would be. As they strolled along, a boy came running and yelled at them to move out of the way. He was super scared he crashed out. Sistine, quick thinker that she was, used her magic shield to block, but she sent him flying into the air, and he landed in a fountain. The girls rushed over to check on him, and to their relief, he popped out of the water and asked if they were okay. Now, on the roof of one of the academies buildings, another girl was waiting for someone, but that someone was running late, and she was not happy about it. Back in Sistine and Ruby, they kept talking to the boy who loved them. He kept asking if they were okay, and when he thought the time was right, he acted like it was their fault they loved him. He said they might get in trouble unless they made a deal with him. He started checking Ruby's height and all that, which made her uncomfortable. So Sistine used her magic shield again and sent him flying into the air once more. But this guy was just too strange. Meanwhile, the whole school was wondering where the substitute teacher was. The class was waiting, getting more and more impatient caused the class period to be over. They were complaining about the techniques and so professional. But finally, the teacher showed up. And guess what? It was the same guy that Sistine here ran. He acted like he didn't know that he could use himself as well. He seemed super not interested in teaching and started talking about his hobbies. Sistine found pretty boring. In class, the new teacher let her roll on the board that the students should use self-defense.
That'd be me as a teacher.
Especially Sistine, who wasn't going to let them slide. Meanwhile, another teacher who was worried about Glenn, they argued with the principal. He knew Glenn wasn't cut out for teaching the kind of students they had. And he said Glenn would just help himself study, which is exactly what happened. Then the principal brought a motion. Glenn didn't even have a teaching license, but the principal trusted a powerful professor at the academy named Sully. He had recommended Glenn. Now, the teacher, Mademoiselle Bell, which is she confrontation and barged into the locker room. Still changing. She screamed at him to get out. Even he wanted to, but he shaved her little piece. He didn't want to be shamed for seeing it, and that made the girls kick him out and gave him a blister. Later, Sistine sat by the door and wondered why they canceled the class when was supposed to teach just because he got hurt. She felt like she was wasting time. She should be learning about the history of Bulgarians, a castle in the sky. The full promise to her grandmother. Then Glenn showed up to the lunch credit. Sistine was easily met. He tried to start a conversation with Glenn about his food, but the tension was thick in the air. Glenn told her that eating was one of his favorite things, especially when he didn't have to cook it himself. He described how delicious it tasted, and Sistine said she might try it one day, but Glenn was feeling generous and shared some of his food with her. She liked it a lot, and Glenn asked if it was all alright. At first, Sistine acted all grumpy and said it was none of his business, but then she told him that she ate lightly because she didn't want to fall asleep during class. She added that since he was the one to eat, she didn't mind it. This caught the attention of the students around him. Glenn asked her if Sistine had something to say to him. Before she could reply, he quickly shoved a spoonful of food into her mouth. After swallowing, he took some of the food from her plate, which made Sistine pretty mad. She wondered if he really called himself a teacher with such behavior, and he just said it was temporary. The next day in class, Glenn did the same old self-study thing. He just didn't want to teach. He was super lazy and had no interest in teaching. And the following days were no different. He seemed even less excited than before, like all he wanted was to get to class, take a nap on his desk. This really helped out the students, and it totally frustrated Sistine. One day, Sistine came home. She got up all annoyed and complained about Glenn's behavior. She said she came from a long line of donuts, and if she told her dad about this, he had Glenn fired. Well, Glenn surprised everyone. He took Sistine's hand and pulled her to a man. But he wanted to be quiet. He never wanted to argue his school in the first place, but he wouldn't do it because of self. He figured if he got fired, she wouldn't do anything. He would be out of a job the first thing he wanted. This made the students super curious, and Sistine didn't back down. She challenged Glenn to a magic meeting right then and there. Education meant a lot to her because it was the path to solving the mystery of Bulgarians. She told Glenn that if she wanted, he had to change his ways, and she knew she would because he didn't respect magic at all. Glenn agreed, but he asked her if she'd be okay with his request if he wanted. It sounded kind of obvious. They put their pool outside, and all the students watched. Glenn said they would use shock magic, which is all about electricity. The students were wondering who would come out on top. Sistine gave herself a little pep talk to gain courage, and then she fired her first shot. It hit Glenn right on, surprising everyone because they thought Glenn would be but Glenn, he acted like he gave her a chance on purpose. He tried to zap her magic, and Sistine shot him again and again. She asked him to pass the spell, and he pretended like he just wanted her to win. The students knew he was lying, but he acted like they were almost tired that she had zapped him 3 times, and he only got one. He even pretended that he never agreed to be a better teacher, just laughed it off and told her about it. The next day, Glenn still didn't take his classes seriously. He didn't care about the Sistine. One of the students asked him a question about magic because self-study wasn't working. She told him to understand better, that Sistine told Glenn on his school that was because he didn't understand the greatness of magic. This made Glenn ask Sistine about the benefits of magic to humanity. He argued that fields like medicine or science could do the same thing magic does. Sistine tried to defend magic, saying how amazing and fruitful it was, but Glenn interrupted her and said that magic was only good for killing, explaining how effective it was in ending someone's life. This made Sistine super mad, and she slapped him before leaving the classroom crying. Nobody expected that to happen, and it shocked everyone. Later, Glenn went to the rooftop of the academy and reflected on his behavior. He and Sistine had different ideas about magic, and he probably looked down on her for this. He regretted upsetting her, even though he didn't demand it. He saw her in the lab trying to practice magic on her own, so he went over to her. He let her continue working on the magic circle she was creating. He didn't tell her to make it work. Glenn told her it needed a lot of work. He got some imported onto the circle, helping her make her circle work. This got her really excited. After their experiment, Glenn and Leah started talking. She asked him what he did before becoming a teacher. He said he was unemployed for a year and lived off himself. Leah asked Glenn what he did before that, but Glenn didn't want to talk about it. He started asking her why she was interested in magic, and she said she wanted to repay a favor. She had been kidnapped by criminals years ago and was rescued by a
I don't want to go in
He
there.
asked Glenn to apologize to Sistine because magic meant a lot to her, connecting her to her late grandfather. The next day, even though he didn't change his stance on magic and its usage. Everyone in the class was surprised, especially Sistine, who hadn't expected to hear those words from Glenn. After Glenn decided to teach the class how to use magic correctly because he realized they were doing it wrong. They were shocked because they didn't think he could do better, especially after his duel with Sistine. But Glenn used sharp words as an example and showed them how the way he cast the spell could affect the result. He demonstrated different results based on how he cast the spell, surprising everyone. Then, he told them that magic was about studying
No.
how they would influence the use of magic. He even showed them that he could use shock roll in just one word, which was super impressive. He explained that the books they had been using were just for memorizing magic, but before memorizing, you should understand it first. This changed a lot of the students' minds about him. Days later, Glenn was becoming more popular at the academy. Students from other courses were now coming to his classes because they heard he was a great teacher. After finishing the day, he headed to the academy's rooftop, thinking that
That was
teaching
fast,
wasn't so
actually.
bad after all. There, Celica appeared and congratulated Glenn on his progress as a teacher. Glenn said he was sorry for worrying her and that it made her smile. But then Celica told him that she had to attend a meeting with all the staff at the academy, so Glenn's classroom would be the only one in use, and they needed to have extra classes. Just as Glenn's students arrived and were about to talk to him about magic, he noticed he was being followed. Glenn asked the stranger to introduce himself, and a guy named Carol replied to her time. Meanwhile, in another scene, class 2 was waiting for their teacher to arrive, thinking he was late again. But then 2 more criminals showed up, led by a guy named Ray. They were looking for Rumia and decided to take her with them and use the other students as hostages. It turned out that Rumia was actually the princess of Ozana, who everyone thought had died years ago. Back to Glenn. One of the criminals stayed with Sistine and planned to hurt her. He started to do bad things to her and made fun of her, saying she was acting tough. But then Glenn suddenly appeared. The criminal tried to use magic to hurt Glenn, but it didn't work. Glenn had a special power called the Fool's World that could seal any magic in a certain area, making it disappear. He mentioned that it affected him too, so he couldn't use magic either. Then, Glenn beat up the criminal using army martial arts and easily defeated him. Glenn had actually defeated Carol with his bare fists before arriving at the academy. After Glenn defeated the criminal, he asked Sistine if she was okay. She started to tell him something, but he interrupted her, saying he shouldn't be a teacher with his dirty hands that he used to defeat the criminal. He felt like his hands were dirty. But then Sistine interrupted him and pointed out that his pants had fallen down, which made him feel embarrassed. Sistine then explained everything that had happened. How the criminals had taken
The guy's asking when I shouldn't be a teacher. My hands are too dirty. Your pants. Fuck.
Glenn contacted Celica for help, but she revealed that the Divine Wisdom organization was filled with evil agents and criminal citizens. Glenn requested backup desperately, but Celica explained that she had no authority and couldn't do anything. The academy realized they couldn't get any help and felt helpless. She tried to run away from the program, but Glenn stopped her, knowing that she couldn't do it alone, especially with dangerous criminals around. Sistine started to cry, realizing that what Glenn had said about magic being used for evil was true, and bad people could do bad things with it. Glenn comforted her,
JJK in a nutshell. Huh?
tied up started laughing maniacally, claiming that Glenn was just like them, using magic for evil. But Sistine defended Glenn, saying he was a good person. Suddenly, several skeletal golems summoned by Ray and they attacked the criminal.
Hey, what's up? It's
Tried
me.
to attack Sistine with Glenn. Glenn struggled to punch one because he wasn't using magic. Sistine helped him undo his nullifying magic, allowing him to use magic to defend themselves from the golems. They quickly ran away, but the golems followed them closely.
Man, we're just magic. Huh?
Spell against the golems. Sistine used a blizzard spell, which managed to stop the golems. Glenn began preparing a powerful spell called Extinction, released it, destroying all the golems in the academy. However, using such powerful magic left Glenn in bad condition. Ray entered the scene, and Glenn asked Sistine if she could cast a dispelling magic against Ray's weapons, but she needed time to regain her strength. Glenn pushed her into some bushes to fight alone. The duel with Ray began, and both displayed their abilities to end the fight quickly. Glenn tried to use a nullifying spell to stop Ray's swords, but it was already active, so he couldn't nullify it. He attempted another type of magic, and Ray tried to counter it. However, Glenn had tricked Ray, taking the attack head-on. Sistine then appeared, undoing Ray's spell, allowing Glenn to attack him with one of his own swords, defeating him. Ray remembered who Glenn was and revealed that Glenn was a mage killer who had worked for the Empire. After mentioning this, Ray died, and Glenn fell unconscious from blood loss. Sistine tried to heal him with magic. After several hours, Glenn woke up and found Sistine unconscious after using all her power. Celica called Glenn after trying to reach him multiple times. She asked about the situation, and Glenn explained that Ray had been defeated, but the barrier was still up. Celica explained that the barrier was designed to keep people inside, meaning the criminals were still useful. Glenn realized that the teleportation circuits were being rerouted by the criminals to allow them to escape without releasing the hostages. Glenn decided to go look for Rumia on his own and stop the criminals in the teleportation circuits. After some time, he tried to the tower where Rumia was held. There, he learned that the mastermind behind all of this was Hugh, the teacher who had given up his position to Glenn. Glenn wanted to fight Hugh, but Hugh revealed that he had created a magic circle to teleport Rumia to their base. If Glenn wanted to save Rumia from this circle, he had to stop playing games and do the magic circle before time ran out.
How the fuck was I meant to survive that shit?
Destroying each layer of the spell. However, when he reached the last layer, he ran out of mana. Rumia reached her hand out to touch Glenn, but the magic circle tried to stop him, hurting the figure in progress. Despite the pain, she managed to touch Glenn. Glenn saw this and realized that Rumia had the power to increase his mana. It turned out that Rumia was an amplifier, which meant she needed to with her health. Glenn gained enough strength to destroy the magic circle. When he destroyed the circle, there was a bright light that spread throughout the school.
Molly, gonna have to go ahead and leave.
Glenn confronted Hugh, defeating him. Later, Glenn met Celica, who revealed Rumia's true identity as the Empire's princess, someone who had faked her own identity and was now living under a different name. Although Glenn wasn't surprised to hear this, he didn't really care about her identity or why she had faked her own death. When Celica asked him why he kept teaching at the school, Glenn admitted that he wanted to see the full potential of his students. After the academy was he reached the royal family in the kingdom of Ozana, where Rumia's mother was living. The queen had been deeply worried about Rumia during the 3 years she had disappeared. Some members of the kingdom were concerned about the public. They advised the queen on how to handle the situation. However,
who needs to play the game? We could just do this. Abracadabra. Yeah.
Her daughter was alive and safe. The next day in class, Rumia and Sistine were trying to get their fellow students to sign up for a competition. However, the students didn't seem interested and lacked confidence in their magic skills. They were worried about humiliating themselves in front of the queen, who was rumored to be attending. Some students didn't even want to compete at all. Rumia and Sistine made their best efforts to motivate the students and convey the significance of the competition as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But their attempts were in vain. Suddenly, Glenn burst through the doors, full of confidence and claiming to know how to inspire the students. Leading the charge, much to the little skepticism, Glenn assured the students that the competition would be assigned to categories and goals based on their abilities and strengths. Some students initially disagreed with Glenn's classifications, but he went on to praise their abilities while pointing out their weaknesses. This made them realize the value of their unique skills and how they could contribute to the competition. In the end, the students were impressed by Glenn's understanding of their strengths and weaknesses. Rumia and Sistine were also pleased with how Glenn had taken the initiative to get to know the students better and help them prepare for the competition. Despite their earlier disagreements, they began to see a different side of Glenn and appreciated his efforts to support the students. In the back of his mind, Glenn was quite impressed with how well he had been doing as a teacher lately. He realized that he had made a good impression on the students ever since he started taking his teaching job seriously. However, at the same time, he knew that he was broke and couldn't afford to live comfortably at the moment. So, Glenn decided to approach the headmaster and beg for an allowance or some kind of advance to help with his financial situation. Both the headmaster and Celica had mustaches, figuratively speaking, meaning they were both quite stern. They didn't want Glenn to receive any help from the outside. They wanted him to take responsibility for himself and make the most of what he already had. However, Glenn wasn't ready to give up. He believed that Celica was partly responsible for him ending up at the academy in the first place, so he kept pleading with him. The headmaster then mentioned the bonus opportunity that caught Glenn's attention. The teacher of the class that won the magic competition would receive compensation for instructing the best class. Glenn eagerly accepted this opportunity. primarily motivated by the potential reward rather than a genuine concern for his students. One of the students in his class didn't agree with how Glenn had organized them for the competition and suggested using only the best students to maximize their chances of winning. Glenn was secretly intrigued by this idea but couldn't openly support it. Sistine stood up for Glenn and defended his approach, emphasizing teamwork and utilizing all the students' abilities. During recess, Glenn stood outside, pondering the upcoming competition and how other classes might use only their best students.
Go.
He watched the students in different classes begin competing even though their friend groups had often performed better. A fight broke out over the practice space, but Glenn intervened to stop it. Then a student named Harley approached and questioned why Glenn's class hadn't reserved the practice spot. Harley held a strong grudge against Glenn due to his tardiness and irresponsibility. Glenn and Harley exchanged words, with Harley expressing hostility, telling Glenn to take his class elsewhere. Glenn instructed his students to practice their entry, making him Glenn in space. Harley continued to mock Glenn's decision to involve the entire class in the competition, believing that only the best students should participate, as they did in previous years. This upset Glenn, and he decided to bet his entire 3 months' salary on his class winning. Despite having doubts in the back of his mind, Harley, confident in himself and his students, accepted the bet and also wagered his own 3 months' salary on the competition. Glenn wasn't entirely convinced by his own decision. He felt compelled to take the risk, given his financial situation. Sistine stepped in and stood up to Harley, telling him that he had no authority over the training, and that anyone could practice it. She even threatened to complain to the school board if Harley and his students kept bothering her. Harley and his group eventually backed down, leaving with a parting promise that Glenn's class wouldn't stand a chance against them. Sistine motivated the other students, assuring them that with Glenn on their side, they could win the competition. This filled the students with confidence and excitement. In the days leading up to the competition, Glenn took his job seriously. He worked hard to train the students and help them study magic, making sure they improved their skills and got good grades. Winning the competition meant a lot to him, especially because he needed the prize money. Lumia and Sistine watched him from a distance, admiring his dedication. They couldn't help but feel that he had become the coolest professor ever, despite Sistine's initial reservations about him. The night before the competition, Lumia stood on the balcony, remembering the tragic day her family was killed. She held a pendant in her hand, a reminder of her family. Even
And a gun.
Paul much
She's gonna kill who killed her fans.
Instead, they focused on the upcoming competition.
Water bottle.
Arrived, and the queen made her way to the event, hoping to catch a glimpse of her daughter from a distance. She had changed her pendant to one that looked similar to Rumia's and wore a different necklace. Before the competition began, the queen offered some words to bless the event, and Rumia noticed that she had a pendant similar to hers. Once the competition started, the students from various classes began to compete. To everyone's surprise, one of Glenn's students from class 2 managed to secure third place, and this got the other students from class 2 excited. Glenn himself was quite shy of the vote. However, class 1, led by Harley, started to mock them for their third place ranking. Harley eventually intervened and suggested they let class 2 enjoy their turn. Class 2 students became motivated and confident with Glenn by their side. But Glenn couldn't stay motivated on an empty stomach. Sitting next to the queen, teased class 2 for their surprising performance. The queen asked Celica if Glenn was truly special, to which Celica replied that he had a knack for coming up with impressive ideas. As the competition progressed, class 2 continued to excel and win their rounds, putting them in a favorable position. Glenn was impressed by how well his class was doing, and he hoped to win so that he wouldn't have to give his salary to Harley. Now it was Rumia's turn in the mental defense competition. One student from class 5 tried to intimidate Rumia, thinking she couldn't handle it. But Rumia was determined to do her part for her class. One student from class 2 suspected Glenn of sacrificing Rumia because she excelled in healing magic magic but was chosen for mental defense. However, Glenn assured him that Rumia was mentally strong, which pleased Sistine. The mental defense competition began, and the students faced a professor who used his mental manipulation magic to quickly eliminate several students. Only Rumia and the student from Class 5 remained. However, the professor's perverted comments about Rumia's appearance disgusted many, including the headmaster, who threatened to fire him. In the final round, called Mind Break, Rumia and the Class 5 student faced off. The student from Class 2, who had doubted Rumia earlier, was impressed by her mental fortitude. However, the magic they endured in this round was excruciating for both mind and body. Rumia began to falter and kneel, but the Class 5 student remained standing. Glenn and Sistine encouraged Rumia to quit, as it was clear she was in pain. They praised her for her perseverance, but insisted on her safety. However, before they could intervene further, it was revealed that the Class 5 student was unconscious despite standing, making Rumia the winner by default.
How to win a game. How to win. Opponent passed out.
They celebrated their victory, and even the Queen, Rumia's real mother, was thrilled to see her daughter happy. The Queen had abandoned Rumia, but was content just knowing her daughter was happy. Celica urged the Queen to talk to Rumia, if only for today. Two characters, Rel and Alvin, appear discussing Glenn's abandonment of the Imperial Court to become a teacher. One of them wants to confront
Name someone Alvin.
Their mission to protect the Queen. The suspicious guard is more important. They decide it's a one-person job. During a break, Glenn watches the students enjoying their lunches and snacks, wishing he could join them. However, he's very hungry and can't afford it. Glenn approaches Glenn and asks to switch out of the transmutation competition, fearing she'll perform poorly. Glenn encourages her to respond and explains the spell to her. He even transforms into Rumia to demonstrate the spell, impressing Glenn. He assures her to do her best and that he'll handle anyone who gives her a hard time. Sistine rushes to Glenn, thinking he's Rumia, and offers him food. Glenn can't resist and tries to eat, but Rumia arrives and uses her magic to turn him back into himself. Sistine hits him with her magic, and he ends up in the bushes, feeling embarrassed. Rumia brings Glenn a lunchbox, saying someone special made it for him. She doesn't reveal who, but it's implied to be Sistine. Glenn remains oblivious to the fact that he might be the jerk mentioned and thanks Rumia before heading back to the competition. The Queen unexpectedly appears, surprising Glenn, who used to work as her guard. She apologizes for how he left his job, and they chat briefly. Glenn asks why she's there without her guards, but she doesn't answer. Instead, she addresses Rumia as Uniana, mistaking her for someone else. Rumia apologizes for the confusion and rushes back to the competition. The Queen leaves and asks Glenn to take care of Rumia. At the competition, the Queen is surrounded by her guards, and General Commander Zelos approaches her, apologizing and requesting her to come with them. The mysterious characters reappear, and one suggests they wait for the right moment to charge their enemies with a full frontal assault. Class 2 continues to dominate the competition. Glenn, however, is distracted, thinking about the former princess who was erased from existence due to her special power. Sistine approaches him, worried about Rumia's absence. Glenn promises to find her and leaves Sistine to handle things while he's gone. Before he departs, they playfully discuss the delicious sandwiches from earlier, causing Sistine to blush. Glenn finds Rumia sitting alone under a tree, holding an empty locket from the other night. She wonders if it's weird to hold onto a locket with nothing inside. Glenn reassures her that what it means to her matters more than what's inside. Rumia asks if he knows the truth. He believes she and the Queen are related as mother and daughter. Glenn says yes. Rumia shares her understanding of why the Queen abandoned her due to the curse she was born with, but she can't forgive her completely, even though part of her wants to call her mother. She also thinks about Sistine's parents, who raised her as their own, not wanting to betray her. Glenn tells her that people often have regrets no matter what decision they make, and advises her to do what will make her happy. He asks what she wants, but she's unsure. He recounts his time serving the kingdom as a mage under the Queen, how he noticed the locket always meant so much to her. He suggests Rumia starts with the locket and tells the Queen how she feels. She's scared and asks him to accompany her, to which he agrees. Suddenly, Imperial guards arrive and accuse Rumia of conspiring to assassinate the Queen. They try to execute her immediately. Glenn steps in, but they warn him to stay away. They inform him that the order came from the Queen herself. Rumia surrenders, but Glenn questions the lack of a trial. When he tries to protest, they strike him with their swords and tie Rumia to a tree. Rumia accepts her fate, knowing this day was supposed to have passed. A blinding light appears, taking down the guards. Glenn arrives to rescue her. Rumia worries that he might have hurt the guards, but Glenn reassures her it's just a blinding light, hurting their eyes. More guards appear, and Glenn uses his magic to save them both. They run on the rooftops to find a hiding spot. Glenn contacts Celica to find out the situation, but she can't help and tells him he's on his own. As he contemplates a solution, the two mysterious characters reappear and rush towards him with their swords. Glenn seems to recognize him. After talking to Celica, Alina reveals that she placed a special collar on her, which is actually the necklace Rumia possesses. This collar has the power to kill Rumia if she rebels against the leader. The only way to break this spell is to kill Rumia. Glenn realizes he's the only one capable of saving her when her son, Albert, appear. Glenn attacks him with a sword, forcing Glenn
He pulls out a fucking Glock. He pulls out a fucking gun. Joke's on you, gun magic.
Glenn explains that Albert and Rel belong to the court, an organization that serves the kingdom, and both Celica and Glenn are its members. The two of them explain the situation regarding the Queen and Celica. After a chat, Glenn asks his former colleagues for help, revealing his plan to present himself to the Queen and trust Celica to handle the rest. They agree to assist him. As Glenn and Rumia evade the Queen's guards, Albert and Rel decide to return to the stadium. They inform Class 2 that they will guide them to victory. At first, the students are skeptical of these new teachers who are total strangers. However, when Albert and Rel relay Glenn's message, the students realize they can trust them. They decide to win the competition for themselves and ensure Glenn doesn't tease them if they lose in his absence. The students in Class 2 start winning several games, tying the score with Class 1. Back when I started Albion Online,
I don't care about Albion Online. Get back to anime talk.
Transmutation magic competition, tying with Class 1 as well. Everything comes down to a final duel, with Sistine fighting her opponent using magic. After a few minutes of struggle, Sistine manages to defeat her opponent, leading Class 2 to victory in the competition. After the competition, Albert and Rel approach Alicia to receive the medal. However, they shock everyone by revealing their true identities. Glenn and Rumia had switched bodies with Albert and Rel, leaving the Imperial Guards confused. Celica quickly sets up a protective barrier to keep the guards at bay. Glenn starts questioning their intentions regarding Rumia. Zelos informs them that Rumia must die to save the Queen and her people. Alicia, surprisingly, gives the order for Rumia to be executed, leaving both Rumia and Glenn in shock. Glenn had initially thought the Queen wanted to save Rumia in a different way, but now he realizes she can't tell the truth. Rumia is devastated by Alicia's words. However, Glenn sees through the deception and attacks Zelos, knocking him down. Alicia then removes Alina's collar, as Glenn had managed to deactivate the curse using the Fool's World magic. After this, Alicia hugs Rumia, apologizes, and reveals her true feelings, leading Rumia to accept her. Meanwhile, Albert and Rel encounter Alina, who reveals she now belongs to the Divine Wisdom. Before they can do anything, Alina escapes using her magic, putting an end to the conflict. Later, Glenn and Rumia have a private conversation where it's revealed that the powerful mage who saved Rumia in the past was actually Glenn himself. The Queen had asked him to rescue her daughter when she was kidnapped. To celebrate their victory, Glenn and Rumia join the other students at a restaurant. However, Glenn realizes that they've spent all the money they recently earned, which saddens him. The next morning, Glenn and Sistine kickstart the day with some intense hand-to-hand combat training. Sistine is a bit frustrated because she was hoping for more magic training. But when Glenn explains that he's preparing her to protect Rumia, she understands and appreciates his efforts. Later, Rumia and Sistine come across Glenn, who looks pretty tired. While chatting, they suddenly encounter Rel charging at Glenn with her heavy sword. Rel announces that she's going to be Rumia's new bodyguard and has infiltrated as a new student in Glenn's class. However, she's not interested in guarding Rumia. She wants to protect Glenn instead. Glenn firmly tells her that her duty is to protect Rumia, scolding her for her refusal. Glenn then introduces Rel to all her new classmates. She struggles with socializing and answering simple questions, but Glenn helps her out. In an unexpected twist, Rel confesses that she's in love with Glenn, leaving the girls excited that the boys this minute. During magic practice, Sistine uses her ult. When it's Rel's turn, she struggles with using the shock ult spell properly. She can't hit her target with precision, so she asks to use a different spell. She demonstrates an alchemy spell that creates a large, heavy sword. She passes and frightens the other students by folks helping. Her duty is to protect Rumia, scolding her for her refusal. Glenn then introduces Rel to all her new classmates. She struggles with socializing and answering simple questions, but Glenn helps her out. In an unexpected twist, Rel confesses that she's in love with Glenn, leaving the girls excited and the boys...
The guys are like, no! Motherfucker! It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
She can't hit her target with precision, so she asks to use a different spell. She demonstrates an alchemy spell that creates a large, heavy sword, and she impresses and frightens the other students by throwing it accurately at the target. As Rel tries to adapt to her new student life, she hangs out and eats lunch with Sistine and Olivia, who assure her that she can take it slow and enjoy her meals because she's no longer at the military. But in school and over time, she forms a strong friendship with Sistine and Olivia, which makes Glenn happy. A little while later, Glenn catches up with Celica, and they discuss how Rel has been fitting in with her fellow students. Celica suggests that teachers should also help students with social skills, and Glenn agrees, planning the upcoming field trip to join the students.
Oh my God, that.
Gets ready for a field trip to
This is gonna be fun or boring if depending on who it is.
on the island. Glenn encounters a strange member who turns out to be Albert. Albert mentions that he is the real guardian of Lumia and warns Glenn to be cautious of Rel, as she can be very dangerous. Glenn doesn't pay too much attention, thinking that the past should stay in the past, but Albert advises him to be careful. Later, the class has fun at the beach, playing volleyball and enjoying their vacation together. Glenn joins in the volleyball game with the students, and they all have a great time.
Yeah, not volleyball. It's volleyball.
Watching Glenn and the boys goofing around and trying to peek into the girls' hotel rooms. She's surprised to see Glenn having so much fun because he used to be gloomy in the academy. The girls invite Rel to play cards with them, and she joins in. Sistine and Lumia are happy to see her fitting in well. Later at night, Rel confronts Glenn and asks him why he left the court. She claims to know the reason, but doesn't understand why he had to go because she lives only for him. This angers Glenn, and they argue. He tells her that if her brother were still alive, he would want her to live for herself. The argument escalates, and Rel starts feeling jealous of Sistine and Lumia, thinking that Glenn abandoned her. Eventually, Rel leaves the beach in tears, leaving Glenn feeling guilty and thinking that things never go as planned. The next day, the class heads to the laboratory for their field trip. On the way, Sistine accidentally mentions Glenn's name, which distracts Rel and causes her to trip. Sistine and Rumia try to help, but Rel tells them not to touch her and says she hates them. Glenn arrives and explains to the girls that Rel is upset because of him, and he apologizes to both of them. At the laboratory, the director, Burks, welcomes the class and gives them a tour. He explains that the laboratory is involved in experimenting with life, including creating chimeras by combining plants and animals. Sistine and Rumia discuss the abandoned research on reviving people, which was deemed impossible. Burks mentions the Revive Life project, which involves cloning a deceased person using their genetic code, an astral code, and an alter ether. Glenn adds that the project was discarded because it required sacrificing many lives. Sistine asks what else is needed, and Burks mentions that an original magic possessed by only a few people is required. Later, the students return to the hotel. Rumia wonders about Rel's thoughts and if she can talk to her. Sistine calls Rumia for dinner, and when she approaches Rel gets upset and goes to the beach crying. Glenn tries to console her, but she tells him to shut up and runs off. At the beach, Rel blames Sistine and Rumia for taking Glenn away from her while crying. The girls are concerned, and Glenn explains why Rel is behaving this way. The girls promise not to give up on her. Glenn decides to look for Rel himself. While searching for Rel, a man named Rainer appears on the beach, revealing himself as Rel's older brother. Rel thought her brother had died years ago. Meanwhile, Albert spies on Rel and decides to intervene in her meeting with Rainer. However, Alina appears to stop Albert, leading to a fierce battle between them. Back at the hotel, Sistine and Rumia patiently wait for Glenn to return with Rel. They believe that Rel truly wants friends and hope that Glenn will bring her back. Sistine goes to get food for when Glenn and Rel return. At the beach, Rainer tries to manipulate Rel into killing Glenn and capturing him, as he's enslaved by an organization and promises to free her if she complies. But Glenn arrives and exposes Rainer as a member of the Divine Wisdom. Deciding to defeat him to protect Rel, Glenn asks for Rel's help, but she impales him with her sword, breaking him before leaving him critically wounded. Albert notices Glenn's injury but gets distracted, allowing Alina to escape. He then sees Rel heading towards the hotel where the girls are. Minutes later, Sistine finds Rel in her room, covered in blood. Rumia is unconscious, and Sistine tries to stop Rel but is paralyzed by fear. She can't do anything as Rel takes Rumia away. Sistine justifies not fighting Rel, fearing she might hurt Rumia, but deep down, she knows she was just scared. Albert appears with the dying Glenn, asking Sistine for help. She's initially doubtful afraid but eventually gathers her courage. She performs CPR on Glenn while Albert casts a reviving spell. Sistine gives it her all, and Albert instructs her to stop feeling sorry for herself as time is running out. Meanwhile, Rumia is held hostage by the Divine Wisdom Organization, where she meets Rainer and Rel. She asks about Glenn. They reveal the truth, and Rel apologizes, expressing her dedication to her brother. After waking up, Glenn learns from Albert what has transpired. He's amazed by Sistine's strength in helping to revive him. Despite their initial disagreements, Albert suggests involving Sistine in rescuing the princess, but Glenn refuses, considering her just a kid. Albert reveals that Burks was working with Rainer and Alina, and mentions the need to stop Rel. But Glenn wants to give her another chance, believing she's confused and deserves to know the truth. They argue about whether Rel would listen to Glenn over her brother, but Glenn is determined to save her, even if it means fighting. Albert gives Glenn his old revolver as payback for abandoning her, and they decide to rescue Rumia. Meanwhile, Rumia is in prison, and Burks plans to use her original magic for the revived life.
Motherfucking
Causing her pain, Rainer tries to comfort her. Scene set. Alina realizes Glenn and Albert are tracking her, and Burks summons Temuras to stop them. But Glenn and Albert defeat them easily. Back at the hotel, Sistine blames herself for letting Rel escape with Rumia, and feels inadequate despite her training from Glenn, as Burks' defenses falter. He confronts Glenn and Albert personally, transforming into a giant pannier. Albert insists that Glenn go ahead, as he can handle Burks alone. Glenn reaches Rumia, but Rel steps in between to protect her brother. Glenn tries to talk to Rel, but she keeps attacking her. Glenn dodges her attacks, and Rumia reminds Rel of their happy moment stargazing at the beach. This makes Rel hesitate, and Glenn seizes the chance to ask if she knows her brother's name. Rel doubts herself since she can't remember his name, and Glenn uses this opportunity to immobilize her with a gravity spell after shooting her with his revolver. Rel begins to recall her true origin, revealing that she's the first successful experiment of revived life. She's a clone of a girl named Alessia, whose older brother Sion was killed by Rainer when he tried to stop the project with Glenn's help. Glenn arrived too late to save Sion and Alessia, but rescued Rel, treating her as if she were bullshit. Glenn charges at Rainer, destroying the machinery holding Rumia captive. He attempts to eliminate Rainer with a spell, but Rainer is saved by 3 emotionless copies of Rel created by him. These copies attack Glenn, and Rel is per Rainer's orders, but Glenn defends them and tries to bring Rel back to her senses. He tells her that she has new friends and a reason to live, prompting Rel to stand up. Rel begins to eliminate her copies one by one. Meanwhile,
And then she explodes because she's a fucking clone in that bunch of clones that you fucking self-destruct in the games and being
Rainer's spells and defeat him with one blow. After the battle, everyone returns to the island safely. Sistine forgives Rel for her actions, welcoming her back as a friend. They all enjoy their time on the beach. Glenn and Albert watch over, realizing that the students' happiness is why Glenn fights so hard. The kids were playing with a ball on a sunny day, and the ball rolled over to where Glenn and Albert were sitting. Glenn picked up the ball and threw it back to Sistine. One of his students, Albert, being his usual self, made a comment that Sistine looked like someone, but he didn't elaborate. Meanwhile, Alina returned to the Divine Wisdom Grandmaster, sharing the news that she had acquired the magic for reviving life. It seemed like they had some big plans in the works. Later, they all returned to the city, and Rel began living in Sistine's house with Rumia. Sistine's parents treated her kindly, and Rel tried her best to adjust to her new home. One night, while standing on the balcony with the girls, Rel sincerely apologized for her past actions. Sistine and Rumia reassured her that they had forgiven her, and that they were precious to her. Following that, Sistine headed to the library to research Rumya's castle. She bumped into Selma, who encouraged her studies on the castle's history. Glenn also appeared and thanked Sistine for saving him during their previous adventure, but Sistine blushed, remembering the kiss she gave Glenn while administering CPR. This made Rel angry, thinking that Glenn had done something wrong to Sistine. She chased Glenn around the school with her sword, ready to defend her.
I didn't fucking do shit!
Stumbled upon a carriage, but a spell cast by a man named Leo saved him just in time. Leo's introduced himself as a new teacher in the academy, and mentioned that he was engaged to Sistine since their childhood. He praised Glenn for his teaching methods and invited him to observe his class. Glenn attended Leo's class and acknowledged that Leo's was a good teacher. However, he noticed that Leo's methods could be dangerous for the students. Rumia sensed Glenn's disapproval, but the other students were impressed. After the class, Leo's invited Sistine for a private conversation. Rumia asked Glenn to eavesdrop on their conversation, so they did. Leo's proposed marriage to Sistine, but she declined, as she didn't want to give up her dream of exploring Bulgaria's castle. Leo's advised her to abandon that dream, saying it was impossible to achieve. Glenn came out of hiding and told Sistine to follow her heart. Leo's didn't like Glenn interfering and told him to stay out of his business. In response, Sistine decided to lie and told Leo's that she was Glenn's girlfriend. Surprising both Glenn and Leo's, Glenn decided to play along, making up more lies to frustrate Leo's, who thought Glenn was a fool. In the end, Glenn challenged Leo's to a duel by throwing down a glove, and Leo's immediately accepted the challenge.
Fucking bitch, that's made out of rubber? Nah. It's made out of concrete. Concrete gloves, bitch!
It turned into a big group competition between their classes. He was determined to win this contest, and he had a special reason for it.
Oh,
he told the kids that
didn't do special shit.
He could marry Sistine and never have to work again because she came from a noble family. The students were surprised by this revelation, and some of them even giggled at the thought of their teacher getting married. Glenn didn't seem to mind their reactions. He was focused on winning. Later, Glenn met up with Albert in a bar and shared his plans with him. Albert couldn't believe it. He thought Glenn didn't really love Sistine and that this was just a crazy idea, but Glenn was serious about it. During their conversation, Albert brought up a serious matter. He warned Glenn about a dangerous drug called Angel's Dust that was being distributed in the city. This drug could turn people into puppets, controlled by someone else. Glenn was surprised to hear about it, as he thought this drug had disappeared a long time ago. Albert urged Glenn to stay away from
it makes you start sounding like that one guy. Hello, it's me, that one guy.
He mentioned a woman named Sarah and pointed out that Glenn saw similarities between her and Sistine. This made Glenn think about Sarah. He had supported his dream of becoming a mage of justice. Glenn's mind was filled with memories of Sarah, and he couldn't help but feel a connection between her and Sistine. He knew he had to find out more about Angel's Dust and what was happening in the city. Finally, the day of the duel between classes 2 and 4 arrived, with Glenn...
Yeah, that's a bomb.
The referee explained the rules of the duel to everyone. He said that the team that either captures the enemy base or defeats the representative from the other side will win. However, he also mentioned that the battle would only last for 3 hours. Leos took a moment to talk to Sistine before the duel started. He told her that he wanted her to give it her all and that he would prove to her that he was worthy of her heart. It sounded kind of romantic, and Sistine blushed a little. On the other hand, Glenn had a very different message for his class. He told them that they needed to win so that he could marry into money. The students couldn't help but chuckle at his blunt and somewhat selfish goal. The tension in the air.
I need to marry into money! Money! That's what I'm after, is money!
Classes 2 and 4 faced each other with determination in their eyes. Sistine was torn between her loyalty to Glenn and her concern for Leos, who seemed genuinely interested in her. As the duel started, the students from both classes unleashed their...
I just like, don't worry guys, I have a secret technique. Gun. Hey guys, welcome to How to Win a Fight 101. 12 fucking 8. 12 a Glock.
Glenn and Leos faced off, each using their unique magic to try and gain the upper hand. Sistine watched with bated breath as the battle raged on. She knew that this duel was not just about winning. It was about proving one's worth and determination. Glenn was determined to marry Sistine and never work again, while Leos was determined to show Sistine that he was the one for her.
I wasn't avoiding therapy.
At this point, I feel like Glenn just acted just wanted to do that for comedy reasons. It's like, I'm gonna get married. Get fucked, class. Yeah, you would, because again, they were like, you're gonna get married? What the fuck? Man, what the fuck? You sound like Ryan Trahan. Shut up. Fuck off. You're Ryan Trahan.
3 hours passed in a blur as the students fought with all their might. It was a fierce battle, with both sides refusing to give in. Glenn and Leos continued to clash, their magic colliding in a spectacular display of power. In the end, it was Glenn's clever tactics and resourcefulness that allowed his team to capture the enemy base and secure victory for Class 2. Glenn was proud of his students for their hard work and performance. On the other hand, Leos didn't take the tie well. He started scolding his students for losing, which meant he wouldn't get to marry Sistine. Glenn couldn't stand to see this and stepped in. Leos threw down his glove, challenging Glenn to a duel once more. Glenn accepted without hesitation. He realized that Leos wouldn't give up on Sistine and was trying to make her quit her studies and join him. Glenn was determined not to give up on the idea of marrying into Sistine's wealth. But just as
Man,
they
where he
were
went,
about to fight,
man, I'd
Sister
rather have
agreed.
money, bitch,
She
boy.
wanted to have her say in the matter. With a determined look, she slapped Glenn, feeling like both he and Leo's were treating her like an object. Seeing this, Rumia decided to step in as well. She talked to Sistine and assured her that Glenn wouldn't marry her just for money. This made Sistine reconsider her stance, and she tried to talk to Glenn. Rumia also wanted to speak with Glenn because she had a strange feeling when she met Leo's. It reminded her of the creepy feeling she had when she encountered Burks. There was something off about Leo's, and she wanted to figure it out. In a secret meeting, Leo's met with a man named Chance. They talked about Leo's plan to marry Sistine and Glenn. Leo's wanted his
Bomb was on
family
the
to
train.
gain more power
Oh,
to
bomb was
secure
on the
his
train.
position.
No, a
Next day,
bomb.
Janice found this
Yeah,
plan amusing.
I
They
fucking
wanted him
hate
back at the
bomb, but I'm not
academy.
racist though.
Glenn was
I
lost
am.
and talked.
Fucking where the fuck you come from, Gillian? This is body Gillian.
Glenn who Sarah was. She also wanted to know why he challenged Leo's to a duel. At first, Glenn tried to hide the truth, but then he decided to be honest with Sistine. Glenn told Sistine that she looked a lot like Sarah. He explained that when he was a child, he dreamed of becoming a mage of justice, but he gave up on that dream when he saw how tough the magical world could be. It made him resent magic.
He quit.
Sarah was
He just went, man, fuck this shit. That's too hard.
But sadly, she died on a mission that Glenn couldn't protect her own. After that, Glenn decided to leave everything behind and become a slacker. He challenged Leo's because he didn't want to see someone else give up on their dreams. It reminded him of when he lost hope. Sistine was relieved to hear that Glenn's motivation wasn't just about money because, in her heart, she knew he'd never give up on marrying into wealth. Sistine told Glenn that achieving greatness was tough, and sometimes she struggled to keep going. Because Glenn believed in her, she would keep moving forward. She understood that with Glenn by her side, they could overcome any challenge together.
Oh wait, Lewis is online. Hi, Lewis. Hi, Lewis. Lewis just wakes up, goes online, just, hi, Lewis. What the fuck? I just woke up. Hi, Lewis. I don't get it. I have not won a game of the Binding of Isaac in a while. Like, I have not had a good Isaac one that I've won in a while. Without playing Judas. Because Judas, in my eyes, is the most broken character for me. Just because one button, then
Having their heart-to-heart conversation, their moment was suddenly interrupted by Leo's. He boldly stated that he knew all about Glenn's past. This made Glenn really angry, and he warned Leo's not to say another word. But Leo's didn't listen to Glenn's warning. Instead, he spilled the beans and revealed that back in the court, Glenn was known as the Fool. Hearing this nickname infuriated Glenn, and he attempted to attack Leo's. To Glenn's surprise, Leo's was skilled in military martial arts, and he easily stopped Glenn's attack. It was like nothing Glenn had ever seen before, but that was just the beginning of the surprises. Leo's summoned strange beings called tulpas, and these creatures started to hurt Glenn. It became clear that Leo's was incredibly powerful, way more powerful. Glenn on the ground, defeated and hurting. Leo's then told Glenn to leave, and with a heavy heart, Glenn got up and walked away. He knew he couldn't win this battle. Leo's didn't stop there, though. He turned to Sistine and threatened her. He told her that if she didn't marry him, he would reveal the secret of Rumia and Rel to the entire empire. This secret could put both Rumia and Rel in great danger. Sistine felt trapped. The boy she had grown up with, the one she used to know, was no longer the same.
He had changed. He became racist. Hi, Lewis. Fair enough. I was watching a YouTube video that's like 15 minutes long. Explain a not a YouTube series, a anime. And one of the lines in it, the guy is like, this boy that she grew up with was no longer the same boy she had grown up with. And my first thought was just going, because he became racist. Don't ask questions, okay? My brain just thought of something random to say while watching a person explain an anime. And it was random enough for me to be like, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, random equals funny. Editor, put the clip of like the rules of the Wilbur try not to laugh videos. Okay. Have you seen one of Wilbur Soot's try not to laugh videos yet?
I think I've seen one of them.
Because I always find them hilarious because like when he tells the rules at the beginning of them, he's like, rule number 1, no anime, sorry Phil. Rule number 2, this. Rule number 3, loud does not equal funny. Rule number 4, loud sometimes equals funny. Rule number 5, don't listen to rule number 2.
That's rule number 2.
I forgot. Now I gotta pull up one of his try not to laugh videos so I remember the rules. I don't care about Tetris. Get out of here, mobile Tetris.
Hi. It's currently 7:20 a.m. I'm not fear of the new European. It looks, isn't it? Ironically, it's skewed. Beautiful. This is exactly.
Jesus
sold out.
Christ.
Biggest in Europe in the chat. Straight faces. Straight faces. This video is cool.
It's great. I want to subscribe. This is not good. Be very cool.
Okay, rule number 1, no boomers. Rule number 2, no zoomers. Rule number 3, no weebs. Sorry, Phil. Under the penalty of death, I'm looking at you, Phil. Rule number 4, no Marvel stands. Rule number 5, Stan Luna. Rule number 6, no K-pop. Rule number 7, no My Little Pony friendship is shit. Fuck. Rule number 8, no videos I've already seen before. Rule number 9, staged videos are shit. Rule number... Nope, rule number 10, ignore rule number 5. I'm just gonna put the rules in the chat, okay? Logan and Alpha, it seems. Huh?
Oh yeah, I did play 7 because I did play 7 because 4 I had to leave. I'll be doing that. I've got one more day. Oh no, it's 6 o'clock. Because I lost 6 hours. And I'm not getting like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And then there's the final one, I think, which is quite, okay. That's quite good. What? You know what's funny?
What?
This team right here,
I don't know what.
obviously,
Sure, what's team of the year?
I keep forgetting they don't come out for like 2 days. Like, individually.
Yeah.
I think it goes attackers first. That ends in 6 hours. And then midfielders come out. When the attackers go, midfielders come out for like 2 days, and then defenders come out for 3 days, or 2 days, and then we get the entire team comes out on Friday.
Yeah.
So that way, that's just like kind of why the attack is coming out now. That's why it comes out different brain cells.
Okay. Here are the rules. Should they just become the rules for my streams? Lewis, should those become my stream rules?
Possibly.
Okay, Lewis, can you even read what the rules are?
No.
You want me to tell you what it says?
Just give me a minute. I'm delivering.
Lewis, I don't think you being able to deliver something is gonna help you learn how to read.
No.
Stop, gun. Dick, you fucking skeleton cunt.
So these new items. Two new items go. Team 1 goes in 2 days and 6 hours. Okay, that's 6 items in that until 2 days. Okay. Yeah, you can.
Lewis, you want me to read it to you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Rule number 1, no boomers. Rule number 2, no zoomers. Rule number 3, no weebs under penalty of death. Looking at you, Phil. Rule number 4, no Marvel stance. Rule number 5, Stan Luna. Rule number 6, no K-pop. Rule number 7, no My Little Pony. Friendship is fuck. Rule number 8, no videos I've already seen before. Rule number 9, staged videos are shit. Rule number 10, ignore rule number 5. Rule number 11, loud videos are sometimes funny. Rule number 12, that fucking cat in the wheelchair video is shit. Rule number 13, Phil is always right. Rule number 14, respect all authority unless it infringe on your rights, then brick a police windshield. Don't you agree with those stream rules?
No.
Fucking coward, why not? I wonder as well. You're telling me you're not going to brick a police windshield?
No, I said certain rules. I wonder why.
What? You telling me those shouldn't be my stream rules? Why not? They're mighty good rules. Lewis, why did you throw a brick through my window?
I did.
Yes, you did.
You threw a brick through your window.
No, you threw a brick through my window and said, no.
No, I'll count it.
No, that is true. That does sound like an alpha thing to do.
Nails.
I'll have to question her on why she did it. Ouchie. I don't know why I'm playing as the Lost. I suck as him. Grab the key. Buy stuff. Get a midnight snack. Now I have 0 health still. Okay. So Lewis, what are the rules for existing again?
Just exist. I don't know.
Dumbass. No, I put the rules in the chat. Read the group chat.
I know one of the rules. Like, what's the rules?
The group chat. Not Twitch, you fucking numbs. What? What do you mean? Lewis, you do realize Michael, aka Faggot, aka Michael, is older.
Oh yeah, why is he here though?
He's just ancient. He's just here. He's a dead body. He's some random skeleton we found on the side of the road, dude. Don't ask questions. He's a living skeleton. Why do you think I would know why he's here? He's a living skeleton. Ouchie. I'm gonna stream UFC 5.